Dun, dun, dun. Look at that, everybody. We got it rolling. Hey, guys,
Unusual.
I decided to ask a whole mess of folks to come in and talk about the wedding world. And the reason why is because it was on the calendar, tons of them. It filled the calendar, and all of a sudden, we're not doing weddings. And so there's a lot of components that go into weddings, and that's why I invited some friends to come talk about the wedding world, especially ours here in central Wisconsin. So if I could just have them like step up to the screen. In fact, you're on board right now. Here is, hey, Corey from CJ's Catering. Corey, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing well.
And also for venues, Dale Elliott. So with the Expo Center and all that, Dale, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
You, sexy man right there, I'm telling you. Yeah. Hey, and also on board to talk about the wedding world in a big way for Elegant Occasions, Greta Wood is joining us today. Greta, hi.
Hello.
Greta's right there on board. Hey, and then for the DJ world is the guy is our go-to for all kinds of stuff, and that would be Mike Frankel. Mike's in the house.
Hey, thanks for having me.
There he is. Hey, Mike. Hey, listen, guys. The first stuff I want to talk to you about, as far as what is on the calendar, not on the calendar, has everything been postponed or canceled? Can you talk about that, Corey? Corey, you're coming up on the screen right now. Just talk about that. Is everything postponed and canceled?
So far, just about everything through June has been postponed. Some pushed to July or August. Most have pushed either later in the fall or to next year.
Wow, how about that? Greta, let's talk about that because now we're just at that point where I know you have constantly been in conversations with brides and bridal parties about trying to get their act together. Are they still on board or did they move everything? What happened?
Yeah, so we've been asking a lot of our brides and grooms for input as far as what their plans are and do they change their date? Are they still getting married? And I did jot down some numbers for you. We had, from people who responded, from what we know, 80% of the May weddings rescheduled, 70% for June, and so far 30% of our July weddings have chosen to reschedule.
Not surprised. I'm really not surprised. And Dale out there at the Expo Center, I was thinking about it. I was going to hit you up if I could come out there and just, practice flying my drone indoors because I know you've got some good space going on right there. How weird is it not having a gazillion things happening right now at Dale's Weston Lanes and out at the Expo Center?
Dave, we've been closed since May 15th or March 15th, I'm sorry. And neither building has had any activity at all. So it's very weird, especially disturbing is the fact that 2020 was going to be an excellent wedding year.
Exactly.
Probably one of our big peaks in a long time. The convention center, just to give you an idea, had a wedding schedule, at least one wedding scheduled every Saturday for the entire months of May, June, July, August, September, October, and part of November. And so now we've lost May, June, and pretty much July. And again, I think our statistics are the same as Greta's. A lot of them have rescheduled into next year. Some of them have pushed back to the fall. And now we're starting to get a few people that are even fall nervous. So, I'm not exactly sure where the thing's going to go. The quicker they can settle, safer at home, and then the social distance aspects, is gonna probably put some of these people at ease.
Well, and that's something it'd be great to talk more about here. But Mike Frankel, I wanted to get you in on this conversation about looking at the calendar and bridal parties. Some of the DJs I've talked to is that their struggle is going to the DJ as far as having the conversation is they want to know if they're still on board because brides still want to have their weddings. Are you running across that where there's still people going, look, our wedding's in June, July, August, whatever. Can you still be our DJ? They're just checking to see if you're still around. What's the situation for you?
Well, absolutely. And I myself reached out to a lot of my couples right away when the whole stay at home, back in March, I had concern of where things were going to go. And when things started closing, couples reached out to me right away as well. And I only lost one wedding. I had one wedding that was booked for June, and they ended up panicking, I'm guessing, and they rescheduled to August, thinking that that would be far enough out. And when they got a hold of me, I didn't have their date open at that point. But now I think we're looking at my May, June, July, and now even into August, weddings are reaching out and they're like, hey, you know, will you still be our DJ? And it's, I mean, the coordination, if you look at who's on this screen here, it's not just the DJ, you know, it's the hall, it's the church, it's your family, it's, you know, picking up your dress and tuxes, it's, you know, your food. I mean, the coordination that goes into a wedding, and then all of us vendors that they have to try to figure out when is a date that's going to work, and they may find something. You know, a lot of my weddings did, like you all have said, have moved either late fall or already have scheduled to 2021, which, you know, for us as vendors too, you know, we count on that income for 2020, and now that puts us in dates in 2021 that are blocked out for potential new couples, you know, to come in. But I was pretty lucky that all of my weddings except that one we were able to reschedule, and they had to eliminate everything with all their other venue partners.
Well, you made a great point about, you know, church plans as well. I mean, I had a Zoom, you know, invite out to the Pope as well, and he didn't get back with me, and I was ready. It's like, you got a lot to say. I'm sure you do. The church whole thing. How do you do this? And so, but let's segue into some safety concerns too, because all of you, this has been top of the list. And Corey, in the food world, I've talked about it a lot with chefs, restaurant people, and then you as a caterer and talking about that. What are the things that you foresee you're just going to have to do when it comes to safely being able to feed, you know, a lot of people like at a wedding?
Well, currently what they've put back out there for us is, and Dale can probably attest to this, venue-wise, it's the venue's responsibility for spacing, for sanitation as far as hand sanitizers and all of that. But as far as food is concerned, they do not want us to have buffets. So everything has to be currently, what we've been told, on disposables, served, plated, right to the customer. So that changes lots of people's ideas of what menus they can go with. The style of service, being a plated meal versus a buffet, leaves less for options for the guests to choose from. So it just adjusts what people are thinking of. And I've spoken to a few brides just this morning about that. And they're keeping that on the radar and trying to decide if they're going to adjust their dates, and they're in August and September.
Man.
Based on 50, that's the biggest thing, is the numbers right now that I'm hearing, is that if they're going to be 50 as their max, they're really thinking about moving it and moving it to next year or into spring. Biggest thing, like Dale will have with venues, is finding open dates. When can the venue do it? And then can we line everybody else up? So safety wise, I looked into the idea of putting in portable sneeze guards, bringing all of that stuff, and that is just not cost effective at all. Nothing's portable, and nothing is, how do we say it, able to be afforded by the average caterer at this time of year. I mean, the units that I was looking at was between $2,000 and $3,000 per buffet table.
Wow.
So that's a big outlay. And it's not even mentioned whether it's going to be necessary or not. So we're all sitting in flux because we don't know what to tell them as far as what to expect.
Yeah. Dale, is it true that the next time I come to the Expo Center, I will need to be covered head to toe in bubble wrap in order to be effective against anybody else who's actually in the facility?
Well, you know, Dave, I think that's the funny part about this whole the whole issue is, obviously we've been watching, you know, CDC guidelines and all the guidelines that have been coming back from Badger Bounce Back, and how we need to, you know, take care of our facilities when people do get in. And then the perception by the public is really difficult because some people aren't worried about it at all. And I'm going to say 25% of the people are not worried about it at all. And then 75% of the people are that way, you know, gloves and masks and everything else that come with it. I think looking ahead a little bit too in the wedding business, you know, a lot of the people that come to weddings are in that age bracket that people are are really concerned about, 60 plus, and maybe, underlying conditions and old, grandpas and grandmas, that type of thing. So, again, that's going to affect, some of the wedding issues. But, I don't know. I think we're very fortunate in central Wisconsin, or being where we are. But again, when you have weddings, you got people coming from every direction. So you're just not going to know, who you're dealing with, or who's coming, or whatever. So there are going to be really some struggles. And again, I think we're going to find out more and more as time goes on.
Yeah. Greta, a question for you is about what we've been talking about. Is we normally, talk about color schemes, how to set up signs of love shows and all that, to get people excited about their wedding. But you and I recently been talking about disinfectant. And I know that you, as somebody who wants to get back at it with the shop, is that you can't say it enough. It seems like you keep saying it over and over again about, hey, listen, everything is being handled as safely as possible. Get your butt in here, try dresses on. Trust me, we got our act together. Is it harder than ever to kind of sell that to people? It's like, this is the thing. We got this, let's get back in the wedding world and business,
Sure. So I had about 7 weeks to think about this. And so we were very well prepared for whenever the time came to open the store, which turns out was yesterday. We have a limit of 5 customers we can have in the store at a time. We have several things in place to keep our staff and our guests safe. So some things we've done, we have 6 hand sanitizing stations throughout our store. We have a UVC lighting system that sanitizes an entire room. So after a room is used, we do put the lighting system in there for it's 35 minutes. It runs to sanitize the room. We have a fabric spray that is 99.9% effective at killing viruses and bacteria. So every time a garment is tried on, we turn it inside out and spray that garment and let it sit. And so it can be tried on again. We have sneeze guards over our front counter. I did tell our staff masks are optional. That's such a debate, and I want everybody to do what's most comfortable for them. However, if we are in a situation where we're closer with a customer, which would be if we do have to measure someone, then we are asking our customers and our staff to wear a mask, because you're pretty close at that point. And it's just for the time of the measuring. So we've got so many things in place to try to make sure. We even put one-way aisles in the store. We put the things on the floor showing 6 feet apart. A lot of it is, there's a struggle between, is this all necessary, and what do we need to do to be socially acceptable to everyone walking in our door? So if you don't care about any of those things, fine, ignore them. They're still there. If you do care, we're showing that we have taken every step possible to make sure everybody is safe while they're visiting our business.
Yeah, wow. There's something I never thought I'd have to do here just doing a radio show, but we disinfect our sports guy, Tom King, every day.
You have to with Tom, yeah.
You just have to.
Exactly.
It's a given. It's got to happen. Hey, Mike, get us back into, I've got another question for you guys, and we'll wrap things up here today. But, Mike, I wanted you to help out and talk about a time frame. Is that, like you were saying with some of your weddings, they're on the books, but, I mean, to getting back to full-fledged, situation where people can call you and let's line up some weddings and all that. When do you think we might be getting back at it?
Wow, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. And maybe the other vendors on here can attest to this too. Like the last couple months, the main contacts I've had is my current weddings to move, to reschedule. There hasn't been a lot of calls for new weddings coming up at this point for either late this year or even into 2021. I had a handful of weddings already scheduled for 2021. Now with moving my current 2020 weddings onto 2021, it booked up a few of those dates, which is fine. I was really pleased that I was able to help these couples out and not lose a wedding or and I think I've had a couple other couples call me recently that had everything booked up. They tried rescheduling and their DJ wasn't available. So, I'm in this DJ network, just like you guys, we all collaborate with each other and we're resources for each other. And who do you refer to and how do you do that? So we're doing our best. And I know in our DJ industry, especially a lot of my local friends in the area that we try to refer out. So if we're booked, can't reschedule, pull out. But anyway, long answer to your short question. I don't know the answer to that. You know, I would assume and guess that people are still getting engaged, you know, that's not going to change. But I think in society-wise and how we've had to be these last 2 months, what is that going to look like for the future? Are people ever really going to get back to that comfort zone of, you know what, I can go and shake your hand and hug? I don't know. I mean, I have some of my own feelings and thoughts on that, but I don't know what that'll look like. And I think for myself, you know, I am a big part of a wedding event, you know, providing music to a dance floor where you get 100 people out there all jumping around and hugging and, you know, doing all different things. What will that look like? You know, will we be doing the train, you know, like what people want to put their hands on, or are we going to do a physically distanced train where, you know, people are 6 feet apart? I don't know. I wish I knew the answer to that, but I think what I can say for anybody that watches this podcast is that all of us are still here for you. And you know what, make those plans. I mean, people should not stop living. So if you get engaged and you want to move on and have an event, have it. I mean, people shouldn't just stop living and stop what we're doing. There'll be a new normal, whatever normal is. Me working in the mental health world, normal is a setting on your washing machine at home. I don't know what else normal is, but whatever the new normal will be.
It's weird for me because when they started hiring me as an exotic dancer at some of these weddings, I went, yeah, okay, I guess we can do that if you need that. You know, that
so
sort of thing.
Dale, are you going to put a pole in then on the dance floor? Or?
Well, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but, you know, alcohol kills coronavirus. So
See?
we're just going to make sure that our weddings all have more alcohol.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thing is, so is Corey Corey, you got to put it in a disposable cup, right? You have to?
Oh, everything has to be that way. Yeah.
Oh,
But what I found is we are getting, at least I'm getting some people asking about 2021. It's just starting to kind of go. We're just going to go on with what we have right now as our normal and hope that what adjustments we have to make over time, we can do that with them closer to the time frame of the event.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can hit the go button, you know, sooner than later. But I know that when that happens, it will be insane. And this is the thing that I picture is, Greta, I've seen you at Top Speed Busy. And Dale, I've seen you at, you know, actually being the bartender at 3 or 4 bartender setups that you have, those portable ones that you have out at Dale's and out at the Expo Center. And I want to see that again. So I can't wait to get
to it. I hate to tell you, Dave, but I think we all are looking forward to getting back to, you know, that 100-mile-an-hour, you know, go all the time. This is just not it's just not something that any of us want to do. And when you have venues like we have that are, you know, have big gatherings, you know, we don't know what's going to happen to those big gatherings, because not only did we lose weddings, we lost conventions. And
conventions are going to be a big thing.
Big things going on. Mm-hmm. So you know, it's a big issue, and we don't know when, you know, we're going to get the tier 3 and how many people can you have when you get the tier 3.
Right.
So it's really strange. However, I do want to tell you, Dave, we have been people are getting engaged, and we have been booking weddings for 2021. Mm-hmm. The issues that you have out there now, as Mike said before, was the fact that now we're booking some Fridays, we're booking some Saturdays, we're doubling up at the convention center, doubling up at Weston. So it appears that if things get back to normal, 2021 could be, 2021 could be that big wedding year. And then again, that presents problems too, because we all get busier then. We'll take it as it is. But like Mike said, you know, I think our whole community is really good at what we do. And I think the people go get engaged and get married. Let's go again.
Come on now. Yeah. I just realized yesterday, all you have to do is, everybody, schedule a 10-second flyover from the Wisconsin Air National Guard, and people will show up.
Right.
They will.
Just hey, get an airplane with a banner on the back of it, you know, for
piece of cake, right?
Right.
It needs to happen. Guys, listen, thank you. And I hope we get to do this again, because I would love to do another roundtable once we get closer to where we're going to be going full blast and time to turn up the volume on the wedding world. So I appreciate all your time. Corey, thank you over at TJ's Catering. Dale over there at Dale's Weston Lanes and the Expo Center. And Greta, thank you from Elegant Occasions. And Magical Nights, you should think about that. Run with that a little bit. Mike, Frank, go. And get out there.
You want to have a magical night, right?
You really should.
And all of these vendors together, and you'll have a magical night.
See, I see what you did there. I did. You guys, thank you so much for doing this little get together. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Woo! Party on. We have material. Look at that. You done
So I was
good.
going to share, like, the only weird thing for